I am gonna put my remaining 2 brain cells together and finish this wrap up. Hi everyone, welcome back. I am Emily. This is the first update to my February vlog, even though it is now Friday the 14th, because I'm not on top of things. I haven't finished any of my books yet, but I would like to give a quick update. For those of you who did not witness the January reading wrap-up, this is one of the books that I did not finish in January, and I think it's self-explanatory as to why. Yeah, it's a big book. It's Winter's Fury. It's pretty great. I am finally this far in. I've read this much. I have this much to go. I have got like 100 pages to go. This is one of the only books I can think of where I can say I'm almost done with the book, but I still have 100 pages to go. One quick thing I would just like to say about this, it is 600 pages in and they finally kissed. Good grief. I also really love reading this book because I really get lost in the world and the characters, and that's pretty fantastic. I got over the pretty rocky writing in the beginning of it, and now I'm really enjoying it. I think I'm gonna get the next book after this. I am also listening to The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater on audiobook. I don't have much to say about that yet because I'm maybe a fifth to a quarter of the way in, but all I would like to say is I didn't know this was paranormal romance. How did I get tricked into reading paranormal romance? I mean, it's good, but still. I will have more updates for you once I've actually finished Winter's Fury and have gotten farther into the Raven Boys, so I will see you guys in the next clip. Bye!
Come here! Hi, Alice! Rosie!
Is that paint on my face? Yes, it is. Okay. Hi guys, I just came out of art class. It is Wednesday the 27th? I don't know what date it is. It's week 8, that's all I know, which means it's insanity. I haven't had much of a chance to update recently, but I finished Winter's Fury, which was great. I also just finished the Hazelwood last night, which was weird. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I'm going to sit down in a couple of days and collect my thoughts about it for you guys. I also just started, at school today, I just started reading Once Upon a River. I don't know if that's too shiny, that much into it, not very much, the little section, not the big section. It's very good, I'm enjoying it very much. It's got a very fairy tale feel. While I don't even think it's genre fiction, I think it's literary, I don't know. I'm enjoying it a lot. Full reviews coming very soon. Enjoy this clip of a baby gray squirrel that my art teacher brought to class. Okay, welcome back everyone. It is today actually March the 6th. I haven't gotten a chance to sit down and wrap up all the books I read in February because I've been dead. So now is time to wrap up before I forget what I read. First off, I finished Winter's Fury. Yoo-hoo! The 750 something page book that I no longer have with me because the library really wanted it back. So here's the cover. Y'all saw how huge it was in the earlier part of the vlog. Once I finally finished this book, I was pleasantly surprised at how much I liked it. I really got lost in the story every time I picked it up, and once I got used to the writing style, I really found myself drawn in and attached to the characters. So my reservations about it in the beginning were wrong, and I'm glad I did not DNF it because it ended up great, and I'm probably going to order the sequel. Main great points. I actually ended up liking how long it was because I felt like I was going through the story in real time with the characters, which sounds kind of funny. I really do like immersive, huge fantasy books, and even though this one sort of plodded along a little bit, it's really felt natural and enjoyable. The main character of Jail was a really fun main character. I was worried with Jail there would be a strong female character problem, but she was really rounded and realistic. Relationships with the characters were rewarding and fun. There wasn't this random like woman on woman hate, which is the strong female character thing, and there wasn't she automatically kicks all the guys' asses strong female thing. Her fighting talents that she has, where she does kick a lot of ass, let's be clear, but her fighting talents feel earned and they feel real, and she feels like a real person. Thank you. This might be a very mild spoiler. I love the fact that her best friend in the book was essentially her husband's best friend. There wasn't this weird love triangle thing that happened. She became best friends with another guy who was also best friends with her husband she was forced to be married with. And there was no jealousy and like, oh, you must be sleeping with her. It was just like real people made friends. And there was no attraction, they were just friends. Kind of want to kiss this book, but I don't even have it anymore. The main villain was great. I hated him. I want him to die. That's what you want in a main villain. The resolution to the conflict had lots of twists and turns, but didn't really feel all tied up neatly at the end, so that leaves a lot of room for sequels, and that was definitely planned, and I'm going to be tricked into buying the next book. Tricked in a good way. Some things that could have been improved, in my opinion, but didn't really ruin the book for me were, as I mentioned in last month's vlog, and maybe in the earlier part of this vlog, I don't even remember what I said a couple of weeks ago. Remaining 2 brain cells. There were a lot of character names to remember in the very beginning, and the style of the writing sort of head hops between characters, so for the first couple of chapters I was like, wow, this is a lot. I didn't know if I liked it because it was a lot. I'm glad I stuck with it though, because obviously. Although I enjoyed the fact that it is a longer book, it's probably longer than it needs to be. It probably could have used a more red pen edit, but like I said, didn't really bother me. Kinda liked it, so I don't know if this is a bad thing or not. Last little nitpicky point is there is a lot of crude language in this book. It's very rated R, but it's an adult fantasy, Viking, dark fantasy book. What did I expect? It's not the book's fault, it's mine. Also, note, I think in the last video I said that the main love interest name was Edward, and it's not. It's Edmund. I don't know why I said Edward. I guess my brain is just sort of in love interest, starts with ED, must be Edward, because Twilight has never left my brain since I was 12 years old, evidently. Yeah, it took them 600 pages to kiss. This is a slow burn romance. It's so slow the fire is not even lit for hundreds of pages. That was a bad metaphor. It was slow burn. I liked it. I don't have the brain space to speak in front of camera right now, but here's my vlog. So yeah, Winter's Fury, loved it. Would recommend, 4 out of 5 stars. Check it out. I didn't finish any more of the next book that I started to read, which was The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. I was listening to it only on audiobook, and I didn't get a lot of chances to listen to an audiobook this month. So what I said before was the only thing I can say about that now, and I want to finish it, but I didn't finish it, so. The next book that I did finish, good for me, is The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert, and wow. This cover is gorgeous. I don't know what this book was, which is articulate. This book, if you don't know, is about a main character named Alice who lives with her mother. They lived on the road when she was younger for a lot of years, and really weird things would happen. Finally, when she was a certain age that I now don't remember, her rich grandmother died, and they sort of settled down after that, although they didn't settle down at the Hazelwood, which was the grandmother's estate, and they lived peacefully for a couple of years, and then now that Alice is 16, some weird stuff started happening. Her mother got kidnapped, and when I say some weird stuff started happening, I mean some weird stuff went down. This book has two very distinct parts, and that might be why I don't know how to feel about it. The first half is a very buddy adventure, urban fantasy, Percy Jackson and the Olympians go on a road trip type of feel, only young adult and creepy. The second half was like a dark fairy tale, and it sort of switched worlds so fast I got whiplash. Technically, reading the first half of the book, it's completely understandable that we got to where we got in the second half of the book. I don't know how I feel about it. The second half was so weird for me. That's all I know how to say about it. What to say about it, I don't. That being said, I did enjoy the first half of it a lot. I also enjoyed the second half more as this is really weird. I still want to keep reading, but it's really weird. I don't know what happened. There was a Doctor Who reference in the first 50 pages of this book, and I approve. There was another Doctor Who reference in like the next 100 pages of this book, and I still approve. The snarky one-liners are pretty cool. The writing, which I know people have praised, I thought was pretty neat. It was creepier in the first half than in the second half, and maybe that's what I don't want to say I'm annoyed. Maybe that's where my odd feelings about this book come from. I didn't feel paid off enough on how weird it was. Which is odd, because the second half was pretty weird. There were some pretty funny, snarky one-liners, which I didn't remember to mark anything in this book, obviously. I'm doing well. The only one that stuck out to me that I can remember was Finch, the love interest, said something kind of sappy, and Alice told him to go get a liberal arts degree. I saw some people on Goodreads get really mad about that, and as someone with a liberal arts degree, I'd like to say that that's really funny. Yeah, Hazelwood, I don't know. 3 out of 5 stars, which is not a bad rating for me. 3 out of 5 stars is still enjoyable, probably would recommend. It was just so weird. And I don't know how I feel, and I don't know if I want to pick up the next book or not. Okay, I've said weird 18,000 times. Moving on. The other book that I started to read, didn't get more than a few chapters into, is Once Upon a River by Diane Setterfield, which is it's a good book so far. So far, the storyline centers around an inn along the river where the inn is sort of known for people telling stories, and we've been introduced to the woman who runs it and her husband and her son. And then one night, a man stumbles in with a dead child in his arms, and he like collapses and faints on the floor. And that's basically where I'm at. Very intriguing, very lovely, beautiful, lyrical writing style. The fairy tale feel of this is great, even though I don't think it's a genre book. I think it's just literary. Feels like a fairy tale. This is one of those books where the author opens the book with pages upon pages of backstory and introducing characters, but it doesn't feel boring. It's super interesting. The backstory is unique and fun. The way she describes her characters is interesting, and I get an amazing picture of it in my mind. That's all I can say about it so far, because I'm like 2 chapters in, but I want to predict that this is going to be a 5 out of 5 stars. I want to predict that, because so far it's beautiful. Also, this cover is beautiful. So that was my February wrap-up. I don't know if anything I just said was moderately coherent or made sense or made me sound like I know how to read books, but it's week 9 at school, which means it's almost dead week and almost finals week, and this is the brain space I have left. I would say that the favorite thing of mine that I read in the month of February would be Winter's Fury. Let me know in the comment section what your favorite book of February was. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ding the little notification bell. I upload videos on Fridays about books and or writing and or movies and or last week, just my dogs. I will see you all next week. Bye!